Hello everyone, I'm Rinsler, and today I will be ranking the best wrestling finishers of all time. Now, you might be thinking that this tier list is going to be very opinionated, and very biased, and not well thought out, but I promise you, I will be unbiased. I will be using facts. I will spend time analyzing each finisher to ensure that this tier list is perfect in every way. Let's get started with our first finisher, the Spine Buster, D tier. Next finisher is the Tombstone, made famous by The Undertaker. It's taken out many huge names in professional wrestling. But personally, I do feel like the finisher can be clunky at times. While I don't think I've ever seen Undertaker specifically like mess up or anything, I don't want to judge based off of like how many botches there are. I would say of just like visual effects, it looks very devastating, but the setup for it can be kind of sloppy, slow, and it sometimes takes me out of the moment. So I'm going to say, not based off of its legendary status, I'll say B tier. It's very powerful move, but it's kind of boring. Yeah. Alright, next finisher we have the Rainmaker, which is essentially a clothesline. A C tier. I might get a lot of backlash for that. I'll be honest, like Okada is cool, but I don't think I've ever seen such a great wrestler with such a lame finisher. Alright, next finisher we have Brock Lesnar's F5. Now this can look pretty impressive on most occasions, especially when he has like a smaller competitor. We can just really launch them up in the air. But like, again, just like the Tombstone, yeah, it looks really, strong and powerful, but it's kind of just tossing a guy, essentially. I'll put this with behind Tombstone. I feel like that's fair. Next finisher we have, looks like a double arm DDT. It's a DDT. D tier. On top, I'll put that ahead of the Spine Buster, however, just because Spine Buster is just not, it's not a finisher. I don't know how it's on this list. Now we have the Styles Clash. Now this is a very creative move. It looks fairly impactful. And there's not a whole lot of moves that are like similar to this. Me personally, I think there's a lot of cool variations to get into this maneuver. I'll say A tier. Alright, next we have the RKO. There is no discussion about this one. It's S tier. Possibly the best finisher of all time. Now we'll have to wait and see and compare it to the rest of the finishers in this tier list, but I feel like most people would agree that the RKO is just too good of a move to be anything less than S tier. Speaking of less than S tier, we have Phenomenal Forearm. Now, Styles did pretty good with the Styles Clash. However, the Phenomenal Forearm, for me personally, it's not that impressive. It can be cool when it comes out of nowhere, but it doesn't always happen like that. And in the end, it is just a forearm strike. I'll say C tier behind the Rainmaker. Alright, next we have the Sharpshooter. I'm not normally a big submission guy, but I do like just the general looks of the Sharpshooter. Like, you can tell that these people that Bret Hart is doing this move to are probably in actual pain. like it looks like you could actually like mess somebody's back and legs up with this. But like I said before, I'm not a big submission guy. It's obviously like a legendary move. Personally, yeah, I'll put it behind the F5. Yeah. Next, I don't know who this is. I don't know what this move is. It looks like some sort of Death Valley driver. Maybe that's what it is. But it looks like this guy's about to land straight on his head. Only because I'm not too sure on the move, I'm going to keep it at the bottom of D tier just to be fair. So it's like, it's not. No, okay. Keep it at the bottom of D tier, only because I don't know exactly what the move is. Alright, next we have the Codebreaker, which I feel like is an underrated move. You can, just like the RKO, you can like practically hit it like almost out of nowhere. And I mean, it is like Chris Jericho like driving somebody's face into his knees, which like looks it looks kind of cool. Not my favorite finisher or anything like that. It's kind of very forgettable, I would say. I'll put that above the Rainmaker. Alright, next we have the Go to Sleep from CM Punk or Kenta, whichever one you want to think of. I'm not too big on this move, I'll be honest. I personally think it's pretty lame. Like, you just kind of, you exert all this effort to lift somebody over your head just to knee him in the face, and oftentimes it doesn't look that impressive. I have seen Kenta like legit like look like he's like knocking people out, but a majority of the time I just kind of, it feels like a dud to me to like end matches. I'm going to put GTS, I'll put it between Codebreaker and the Rainmaker. Alright, now we have Eddie Guerrero's Frog Splash. Now, like, obviously Eddie Guerrero is known for, you know, having this amazing Frog Splash. But having seen other people's Frog Splashes, I would say Eddie Guerrero's is not the best. He looks like he has really good form, but for me, I feel like he kind of, it looks too average, if that makes sense. Like, he looks like just anybody who just decides to just do a Frog Splash, that's what they would look like. So because of that, his Frog Splash in particular, I'm going to say is below the Sharpshooter. Alright, so now we have the Spear from Edge. Edge's Spear is pretty iconic, I would say. It looks like a fine, okay move, and just like some of the better moves, it can just be hit like just within a blink of an eye, which is great. But it's not like the most impressive to watch. Like, again, it's kind of just like a, you know, it does look cool, but it's somewhat, I don't want to say low effort, because obviously everything takes effort. It's just not as, you know, not as awe-capturing. What am I saying? I guess. Okay, it's above F5. Alright, Stone Cold Stunner. I'm gonna give this an A tier. No, I'll put it above Styles Clash. Now, obviously, like, everybody loves him a good stunner. I love me a good stunner. But it's kind of like, if I mentioned low effort before, Stone Cold is doing a leg drop to nobody essentially when he does it. Like, you're driving somebody's head into the shoulder. It's it's not like the impact of the move that made the stunner good. It was the fact that Stone Cold was doing it, and the person taking it, probably The Rock, looked probably, you know, pretty funny doing it or taking the move. So like the stunner itself is not that great of a move, but like everything around like that stunner happening is what makes that move so like memorable. So I feel like A tier is fairly alright position for the stunner. Alright, the figure 4 leg lock. It's a submission. It looks painful, but once you have him in the lock, it's like, well, like you kind of just care about the build up. Like, can Ric Flair get the move done onto his opponent? But like once he's got it locked in, it's like now you just kind of sit there and like watch them squirm and like, you know, try to reach the rope. It gets boring. It gets boring after a little while. I'm gonna give this. I'm putting this below Eddie Guerrero's Frog Splash. Yeah. And we have the Angle Slam. This move, it's like somehow can be hit out of nowhere, even though it's more of like a power, like you know, lifting move. It can still be hit like kind of out of nowhere, and like Kurt Angle's done it in different variations, different like, you know, intricate spots, like in different areas of the ring. Very impressive, very impactful. I'm going to put this above the Style Splash. Okay, and now we have the pop-up powerbomb, it looks like, from Kevin Owens. Now let me get a powerbomb, but what makes it so unique is the fact that he does like throw his like opponents up into the air and catches him with the powerbomb, which makes it so much better. Very fun to watch. Besides the times when he, you know, sets up for the move, like when he like throws them against the ropes, like I prefer when it's like unexpected and the opponent just happens to be running at them and then he just catches them in midair. If you couldn't tell, my favorite finishers tend to be ones that can be hit out of nowhere. This is kind of one of them ish. I'm going to put this below the Angle Slam but above Style Splash. Okay, this next one, I am not sure what this is again, just like the one we had before. It looks like maybe like a Storm Zero type of move, maybe. I can't quite tell. I'm just gonna put this with D tier with the other finisher. Just, it's not technically ranking this finisher, but it's just, you know, because I don't really know what it is. Now with the Choke Slam. The Choke Slam is pretty alright, but like after a while, I do feel like it is kind of overused. Like almost any big man, like a wrestler, probably has used the Choke Slam before. And I think if it just stopped at like Undertaker, Kane, and that was it, it might be higher up. But I would say because it's been so overused and it's just personally to me kind of boring, I'm gonna put it below the Phenomenal Forearm. Now we got another DDT, Jake Roberts DDT. Like, I would put that below the Spine Buster because the DDT is so lame. I don't understand why anybody would use that as a finisher. Alright, the Kinshasa from Shinsuke Nakamura. Very, very cool move. It is a knee strike, but it's not just the knee strike. It's Shinsuke getting hyped up for it. You can technically hit it out of nowhere, which I like, and it looks like it really hurts, like a lot. It's like there are some times when it looks like he really connects his knee to somebody's skull, and that looks painful, but it makes me enjoy the moment more. It's consensual violence. It's okay to enjoy it. I'm going to say the Kinshasa will go. I don't want to say S tier. I like the Kinshasa more than the Stone Cold Stunner. So let's go into the top of A tier. Hulk Hogan's leg drop. Okay. So Hulk Hogan's leg drop is almost as bad as the basic DDT that Jake Roberts uses. Now what's going to make the difference is not the move itself, but the setup around it. Jake Roberts, I haven't watched too much of him. I know he's pretty good at like really hitting like a snap with the impact on the DDT. Hulk Hogan is gotta be like the lowest effort wrestler I've probably seen pretty much ever. He does like this. He does this weak boot before the leg drop, and then he just hits a basic leg drop. I think that because of so much hype around the whole scenario, the leg drop is better than the DDT. If it was not Hulk Hogan, I would say the DDT would trump it. Okay, so the Master Lock. I mean, I like Chris Masters, and I'm aware that the full Nelson actually hurts, but like most submissions, it is boring. And like I know it's the way the move is set up, but the guy taking the move just looks so weird. Their arms, look at this guy. His arms are just kind of just dangling up there. It just looks strange, but it does make Chris Masters look like a beast just manhandling this dude. So I'm going to put this D tier still, but just above the double arm hooked DDT. Alright, we have Rikishi's Stink Face, which it's got to be like one of the most popular just moves in general of wrestling. Like, you don't even have to be a wrestling fan to like probably to enjoy this and like understand kind of what's going on here. There's not a whole lot of impact here. I mean there is, but it's like it's hard to rank that against these other moves. It's very funny. It's entertaining to see, but it's not like a oh no, oh my god, Rikishi just hit the Stink Face. Did you just see? Like, it's kind of just like, oh hey, oh I feel bad for that guy. His face is in Rikishi's butt. Like, it's kind of the same routine. I'll put it up top of D tier. Okay, now we have Kurt Angle's ankle lock, another submission. He does put a lot of effort into making it look very intense and painful, but it's so easily reversible. I feel like it gets reversed every time somebody uses this move. When it works, but it sure doesn't a whole lot. So I'm going to say the ankle lock is below the chokeslam. And now we have the jackhammer from Goldberg. It is a pretty impressive move. It looks pretty cool, especially like if you watch like old Goldberg matches from like WCW, where he's younger, he can like really get like put a lot of power into like the snap, like when he takes him down. I think it's a pretty impressive move, pretty cool. I will put this above the GTS. Okay, now we have the Yes Lock, crossface, whatever you want to call it. It's not good. Not just because of submission, but I think what gets me is the fact that the person's one arm is supposed to be trapped inside of somebody's legs, but like oftentimes the legs are not like enclosed. Like, you could just pull your arm up over, and just seeing it just like totally takes me out of the moment, and it makes me hate seeing this move done. This is going to be, I would say, even though, okay, Stink Face is very funny, but like it's still not that effective. Like I'm aware that crossface is still effective. It's just not. It really takes me out of it a little bit. So I'll say top of D tier. Now we have Roman Reigns' spear. Now obviously Edge is like kind of like the face of like the spear, like made it popular. Even though Goldberg probably I think did it before him, but still, like it's more of like Edge's thing. Roman can hit some of the like the straightest, most impactful. Like you can tell he played football before. Like his spears, like literally, like I'm pretty sure it split Dolph Ziggler in half one time. Like I think he's actually had to get some back together because he is. Like I've seen him practically kill somebody with his spear. There's so much force that goes into it. It's actually insane. I'm going to say Roman Reigns' spear is above the Tombstone in B tier. It's going to the top of B tier. Alright, now we have, in my opinion, the best frog splash any wrestler has done. RVD. RVD's frog splash is picture perfect. The height, the distance he can travel with it, the impact, regardless of height or distance, doesn't matter. It's always picture perfect. RVD's frog splash, for me personally, is I really want to do A tier, but no. Okay, top of A tier. I think that's fair. All right, the Razor's Edge. This is like a fairly unique move. It's like at the basics of it, it's kind of like just chucking an opponent, but the visuals of it, like, it doesn't look the same as your general chucking your opponent kind of thing. I feel like I prefer this move over the F5, I would say. So we're gonna have Razor's Edge over the F5. Alright, next we have 619. Now, this has got, like, if you want to talk about unique finishers, the 619, there's nothing remotely close. There are no finishers, barely any regular moves that, like, are even, like, close to, like, being the same as 619. This move is very unique. The setup, for me personally, I get hyped, like, seeing the setup and everything. Now, a lot of people might not like the whole, like, opponent just have to sit there and wait, like, over the rope, so Ray runs to the other side of the ring, comes back. But when he hits it, it's gold. Like, people love it. The crowd always pops for it. It looks really cool. I'm sure it's not easy to do. I think 619 is S tier, but below the RKO. Alright, now we have the Attitude Adjustment from John Cena. It's a very powerful move. I don't really get how, like, when John Cena also throws himself at the ground as well. Like, I assume it's to, like, make it look like he's, like, really just, you know, using as much strength as he can to, like, take his opponent down. I prefer when he just stands up and just, like, chucks him. But, like, even that is still kind of boring because it's just like the Razor's Edge kind of thing where you're just sort of just throwing them. Or just like the F5 as well, we're just throwing them. But John Cena tends to do it after the build-up. You get the, you know, the whatever kind of drop he does, like where he ducks under the punch and like does like a backdrop. And he hits the 5-knuckle shuffle, and then, you know, he gets the crowd going, and then he's waiting, and boom, hits the AA. Great stuff, great build. Because of the build around the move, I'll put that over the Razor's Edge. Okay, now we have the Rock Bottom. Now this, like, I enjoy Rock Bottom. You can hit it out of nowhere. That's pretty cool. I don't have a whole lot to say about this. Like, it's a fairly basic maneuver. A lot of people tend to do this as just like different variations of it as like normal moves. It's like it kind of can, I don't know if it necessarily takes away from it, but like It makes it feel like a little, I guess it does make it feel a little less special. I say rock bottom goes, I said it goes above the attitude adjustment for me. Alright, now we have the elbow drop, and this is more specifically like a top rope elbow drop. It's a cool move, but as a finisher, I can't really get behind it. Personally, I would put this up. I can't decide if I want it below or above the Rainmaker. I think, okay, only because Kairi Sane does a sick elbow drop, I'll put it above the Rainmaker. Alright, now we're closing in on the final stretch here. We have our final three. We have the super kick, or sweet chin music. If we're gonna count as finisher, it's sweet chin music. Now, obviously, super kick is so overdone. Still probably my favorite move, but it's so overdone. It looks cool when done correctly, but it's done so much. But the sweet chin music, like specifically, like, you know, Sean, like, you know, tuning up the band, all this stuff it's corny, it's lame. But like, you can't help but feel a little bit. You can't help but get a little excited, like, oh, is he gonna hit it? Oh, is he gonna hit it? For me, the sweet chin music has got to be S tier. No, not S tier. It's not S tier. Sweet chin music is top of A tier. Alright, now we have the curb stomp. Now this is a fairly unique, like pretty cool finisher. Like, it takes like something like seems so basic, but like it makes it like, super like intense. You can hit it practically out of nowhere. It looks awesome. I'm gonna give the curb stomp, let's see, curb stomp will be above ankle slam. Alright, so our final finisher, which for me, I don't really see this as a finisher, but it's the rock, not the rock bottom, the people's elbow. It's a real fun move. Like, the rock can look really cool, like especially when he slides into it. It looks cool. It's fun. I don't see it as a finisher. I'm gonna put this top of D tier. Alright, and there we have it. This is our completed tier list of wrestling finishers. So the top, our S tier finishers, we have the RKO as the best wrestling finisher of all time, followed by the 619. I feel like that's a fairly reasonable like S tier like decisions. Now, as far as the rest goes, everybody has their opinions, but I feel like a lot of people will, at the very least, will have the RKO up very, very high. And that's gonna be it for today, so see ya.